ONSITE Podcast. We are recording live from Levi's House of Strauss. The last couple of years has seen a massive rise in, what's going on in the UK music industry. And we're talking about UK MC culture in particular, whether you're talking about Afro wave, Afro swing, Afro bashment, but more in particular, the UK drill scene. Popping at the moment, popping. Now I got two grime MCs in the building, and I'm of two different generations as well. Do you know what I'm saying? History's in the building, a lot of definitely a lot of history, a lot of culture. So, what's your opinions on the rise in UK drill? Do you see a lot of similarities in the grime scene? Do you see a lot of similarities from what you might have known, or Manga? You're old enough to know about the first time round, the rise in grime. Because at the moment, over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of people celebrating UK drill. But at the same time, there's been naysayers, fans, other artists from other genres. The media's had like a certain backlash to it. Like there's maybe similarities with the drill and the grime sound production, not it being exactly the same. But, when the UK grime thing started out, the production was very 4-bar, very repetitive, very monotone. Same like with certain drill productions as well. The MC is very aggressive, very unapologetic, criticised because of their violent content, simplistic rhyme schemes, but obviously it being very early in its, its history. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I've said a lot of stuff.
I don't feel like I don't feel like the drill grime schemes are simplistic. To be honest, I think they're more complicated than how grime first started was, like by far. Even with the production, even though it's similar, now drill has fell into a pattern like grime did. At one point, if to make grime, people thought it had to be like loud or esky sounds, you know what I'm saying? That was grime. And then you had to go to repeat the 4-bar or 8 to make 8-bar, or 16 was the longest. You know what I mean? And I feel like drill is not falling, but it's like lent into like that's the sound. Like we have the sliding bass. How many times a certain slang, chocolate darling,
and that.
808s. Like they just. It's a certain sound that makes drill now, but I feel like this grime scene, early grime scene, not today, like the startings of the grime scene and drill is basically the same. You know what I'm saying? It's street youths expressing themselves, making music. You know what I mean? So that's where the violence comes from. That's where the don't give a shit, I don't care about what's going on. I'm saying my truth. And that's why the rise is so quick, because it's the youth, them talking to the youths. Because when you speak, when you hear their slang, when you hear their talk, like when we were saying stuff, like all words we use, like peng, nang, all these words that you think my older cousins knew what we was talking about. Zero. And it's mad because those are normal words now. You know what I'm saying? But if you ask the youth then what obviously like Sky News and all that always talking about now, about splashing, drillings, bare stuff. All these words they're using ain't for us. I don't use that in my vocab. But I'm not from that generation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's them talking to themselves. Like I'm saying, they're talking to their peers, and it's sick. I think drill's super sick, and I feel like it's definitely very similar.